Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bowles Central. We're checking out Epic Mickey Rebrushed, on the Xbox Series X. Admittedly, this is a few-month-old game. I don't usually, quote-unquote, review stuff that's a little bit old. A little bit. Truth is, I wanted to play this back in September of 2024, last year, because I did like the original when it came out on Wii back in 2010. My wife and I played it back then. You know, we got some fun out of it. But admittedly, I'm not much of a Disney fan. Sort of. I'm also not much of a quote-unquote kids game fan, mostly because I don't have kids, but also because I just prefer kind of more adult experiences because I'm an adult. I think that's kind of normal. But I have to say, I was excited for a good reason, as it turns out, because Epic Mickey Rebrushed is a big improvement, in my opinion, over the original. The thing about the original on Wii is that it never really quite made good on the promises of itself. When they were pitching this game to us, the thing about it was it was supposed to be adult, it was supposed to be cool, it was supposed to be epic, it was supposed to be action-y, it was supposed to be very narrative, and it was supposed to be very innovative because it used the Wii remote and nunchuck to very good effect, or it was going to, because you actually have to paint stuff in this game, right? The whole mechanic of this game, the basic core mechanic of the gameplay, is that Mickey has a brush that can both utilize paint and paint thinner. So you're always painting stuff, and you're always getting rid of painting, animation, right? And the problem with the Wii remote in this game, first of all, the camera didn't function very well. Camera issues were always a problem back in the day for certain types of games. They're kind of not anymore. They kind of have, over the years, developed different ways and different means of not expressing camera issues or of eliminating certain types of camera issues. The other thing about it is that the aiming wasn't ever very precise on the Wii. I liked the Wii, but it's not my favorite Nintendo console. The thing about it was that, again, it just never quite seemed to work right. And when it did, it was wonderful, but when it didn't, it was frustrating. I can remember so many different Wii experiences where I'm like, yeah, this is cool, but it's like, work better. Epic Mickey was kind of like that. But this version, see, the thing is that the original development of Epic Mickey from Warren Spector, the creator of Deus Ex, the Deus Ex series, which couldn't be more different from Mickey here. The thing about it is that it was originally underway for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. That's what they were designing Epic Mickey for originally. The powers that be, yeah, the CEO of Disney himself, wanted it released on Wii because Nintendo, you know, it was the hot new thing. The Wii was hot. It was huge. The Wii was a big console, man. And so that's what happened. I feel like it being returned to a regular dual stick, regular right trigger, left trigger experience, it purifies it. It makes it simpler, more direct, more playable, more fun. Because the truth is that right trigger paints, left trigger thins. Right trigger paints, left trigger thins. It's very simple. And because they're simple, they're easy to learn, they're easy to master. Which basically means that gameplay is more natural, it's more intuitive, it's more expressive, it's quicker. Okay, you see where I'm going? The gameplay, because it is more intuitive and more natural, and you're not fighting with camera, and you're not fighting with the actual sensor on the Wii, everything feels better. It locks into place. This is the game as it was meant to be played. That's how I feel about it. And it's made in 2024 for the new systems as well as the older systems, the last gen. And it's really pretty too, y'all. It's it's lovely. It's beautiful. As a Disney product, it looks like it glows. It looks like a piece of beautiful animation, yeah? All the time. And there's two different types of remakes these days, and there are a lot of remakes and remasters of old games these days. The ones that are just patch jobs where they just put a fresh coat of paint on an old thing, and the ones where they lovingly recreate, recraft, sometimes reinterpret. This falls into the latter category in my mind. So basically what you have here, you've got a version of Epic Mickey that plays better, in my opinion, plays probably closer to how it ought to have played in the first place, in my opinion. That's my opinion, because I know a lot of people love this game on Wii. And like I said, me and my wife enjoyed it immensely as well back then, even though it was frustrating and not quite what we were hoping it would be. It's also faithful to the original aesthetic sense, the original limitations of the hardware and the budget, because frankly, they didn't get quite the budget on this thing that they should have gotten either. I looked this up. This is in the literature, so to speak. I don't think Warren Spector got the push for this game back in 2010 that it really deserved, either in the development or in the release of it. It's a little strange sometimes. It's very faithful to the smallness, you could say, of the old 2010 design, even though it looks pretty, even though it plays like a beautiful modern action game should play. It's almost like visiting a beautiful historical monument that you've heard about your whole life. You know it's going to be epic, grand, and you get there and it's wonderful, but it's like, wow, people were smaller then. I didn't remember that about history. People were smaller. This is a lot smaller. This is a lot quainter. Even though Epic Mickey was flawed, it reached for some things that Disney games, that kid games just don't really reach for very often. It was complex in ways that it was unexpected. It was multi-branching even. It had a morality system of sorts based on the kind of paint that you used more often than the other, based on the choices that you made, you know? It is a special game, and this version of it being the best version that it's ever been. If you ever had any affinity for this game, if you ever had any love for this game, if you were curious for this game, if you love Disney, if you love Mickey Mouse, especially vintage Mickey Mouse, I will also say that this is the game that brought an excommunicated, or rather a lost Disney character back into the fold, Oswald, who Disney had to kind of battle to get back from Universal, believe it or not. Play this game. Do so immediately. Don't worry that it's a kid's game, quote unquote, because it has enough to keep adults engaged well through the playthrough. It's great. It's great. It's a wonderful version of this game. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, which I think is fair. I might even say an 8.5 if I had a 20-point system, which I don't. That's my choice. I'll talk to the guy in charge. Like, subscribe,